The relationship between the United States and Iran has been fraught with tension for decades. It's a complex dance of mistrust, historical grievances, and geopolitical maneuvering. In recent weeks, this already precarious relationship has taken a decided turn for the worse. Both sides seem locked in a dangerous cycle of escalation. Military movements, harsh rhetoric, and a breakdown in diplomatic channels have raised fears of a potential conflict. The stakes are incredibly high. The Middle East, a region already grappling with instability, could be ignited by a miscalculation or an unforeseen incident. The global economy, heavily reliant on the free flow of oil from the Persian Gulf, could be thrown into turmoil. And the already fragile international order could be further weakened by a major conflict between the United States and Iran. Navigating this treacherous landscape requires a clear understanding of the factors at play. We must examine the motivations of both sides, the potential triggers of conflict, and the possible pathways to de-escalation. The fate of millions, if not billions, hangs in the balance. The world is watching, holding its breath, hoping that cooler heads will prevail. In a bid to address one of the most pressing issues in the US-Iran standoff, the Trump administration has put forward a proposal for a new nuclear deal. This comes after the US unilaterally withdrew from the 2015 Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, commonly known as the Iran nuclear deal. The Trump administration deemed the JCPOA flawed and not in America's best interests. However, Iran has met the US overture with a resounding no. Tehran has vehemently rejected any possibility of direct talks with Washington. Iranian officials have cited the Trump administration's maximum pressure campaign, which has crippled the Iranian economy with sanctions, as the primary reason for their refusal. They argue that the US has not demonstrated good faith and cannot be trusted to abide by any new agreement. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has demanded a fundamental change in US policy toward Iran as a precondition for any negotiations. He insists that the US must first lift all sanctions imposed since its withdrawal from the JCPOA. Only then, Khamenei argues, can there be a basis for meaningful dialogue. The Biden administration's attempts to revive the JCPOA have also hit a brick wall. Indirect talks between the US and Iran, mediated by European powers, have stalled. The sticking point remains the sequencing of steps. Iran wants sanctions relief up front, while the US insists on Iran first rolling back its nuclear program. In a clear demonstration of its commitment to deterring what it perceives as Iranian aggression, the United States has significantly bolstered its military presence in the Middle East. The Pentagon has dispatched 2 aircraft carrier strike groups to the region. The USS Harry S. Truman and the USS Carl Vinson, accompanied by a flotilla of cruisers, destroyers, and submarines, are now patrolling the waters of the Persian Gulf and the Arabian Sea. This deployment of naval power is intended to send an unmistakable message to Tehran. The US will not tolerate any actions that threaten its interests or those of its allies in the region. The aircraft carriers, bristling with advanced fighter jets, bombers, and missiles, serve as a potent symbol of American military might. Beyond the carrier strike groups, the US has also increased its military footprint at Diego Garcia. This strategically located island in the Indian Ocean has become a hub for American bombers, tankers, and transport aircraft. B-2 stealth bombers, capable of penetrating enemy airspace undetected, have been deployed to Diego Garcia, along with KC-135 tankers, which extend the range of US combat aircraft. The buildup of US military forces in the region coincides with a surge in American airstrikes against Houthi targets in Yemen. The US accuses Iran of supplying the Houthis with weapons, including ballistic missiles and drones, used to attack Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, both close US allies. Iran, in response to the US military buildup and pressure campaign, has chosen to showcase its own military capabilities. Tehran has been particularly keen on highlighting its ballistic missile program, which it views as a crucial deterrent against foreign aggression. In recent months, Iran has unveiled a series of underground missile bases, hidden deep beneath mountains and deserts. These bases, according to Iranian officials, house a formidable arsenal of ballistic and cruise missiles capable of striking targets across the Middle East, including US bases in the Gulf. The unveiling of these facilities is intended to send a clear message. Iran will not be intimidated and will respond forcefully to any attack. Beyond the missile displays, Iranian military and political leaders have issued a series of stern warnings to the United States. the commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy, Rear Admiral Alireza Tangsiri, declared that Iran is fully prepared for any military confrontation. He boasted that Iran has integrated artificial intelligence into its weapons systems, enhancing their accuracy and lethality. Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdollahian echoed these sentiments, warning the U.S. against any miscalculation that could lead to war. He stressed that Iran has no desire for conflict, but will not hesitate to defend itself if attacked. Abdollahian's remarks reflect a broader strategy by Tehran to project an image of strength and resolve in the face of mounting pressure. Section 5. The Houthi factor adding fuel to the fire. Adding another layer of complexity to the US-Iran standoff is the ongoing conflict in Yemen. Iran-backed Houthi rebels have been locked in a brutal war with a Saudi-led coalition, which is supported by the United States. The Houthis have repeatedly launched missile and drone attacks against Saudi Arabia, targeting critical infrastructure, military installations, and civilian areas. In recent weeks, the Houthis have expanded their range of targets, striking the United Arab Emirates, another key U.S. ally in the Gulf. These attacks, which have caused casualties and disrupted air travel, have further escalated tensions in the region. The U.S. accuses Iran of providing the Houthis with the weapons and technology used in these attacks. The Houthis have also targeted U.S. forces operating in the region. In a brazen attack, Houthi forces launched missiles and drones at the USS Harry S. Truman and accompanying destroyers in the Red Sea. While the attack was repelled, it underscored the Houthis' ability to threaten U.S. naval assets in the region. The Houthi factor has become a major sticking point in U.S.-Iran relations. The U.S. demands that Iran cease all support for the Houthis as a precondition for any easing of sanctions. Iran, however, denies providing direct military aid to the Houthis, claiming that its support is purely political and humanitarian. In the intricate tapestry of global politics, various nations and entities pursue their own agendas. These interests often intersect and clash, creating a complex web that is difficult to navigate. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for making sense of the current geopolitical climate. Recently, there has been a significant spike in online searches for the term HMLH Reich, which translates to American attack. This surge in interest reflects growing concerns and speculations about potential military actions. It's a clear indication of the heightened anxiety and uncertainty that many people are feeling right now. In times of crisis, distinguishing between rumors and realities becomes increasingly challenging. Misinformation can spread like wildfire, fueling fear and confusion. It's essential to rely on credible sources and verified information to understand what is truly happening. Reactions from the public and officials often vary, adding another layer of complexity to the situation. Navigating through such a volatile landscape requires a keen understanding of both historical context and current events. It's about piecing together the puzzle with the information available and staying vigilant to new developments. In these uncertain times, informed decision-making is more important than ever.